One of the biggest factors being considered by many foreigners who aspire to move and to live and to work in Japan is childcare or nursery care. So this concerns not only those who have pre-elementary school age children or those who are planning to have children in Japan, also those who are still single at the moment, but eventually they also start their own families in Japan. If it is of any help, I can tell you that Japan has really a nice program when it comes to supporting its residents, including foreigners, in childcare as early as a few months old to 5 or 6 years old, which continues until your child or your children reach their elementary school, junior high school, or even senior high school. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the process or guide in enrolling your child to a Japanese childcare facility. Others may be more familiar with the terms daycare or nursery school or kindergarten school or preschool. But for today, because in Japan, they use childcare as a blanket term for all those preschool facilities. So I'm going to be using childcare. The first thing to consider is certification. In order to use a facility in Japan, you should first get a certification or education and childcare benefits certification from the city or municipality where you live. The procedure as well as the guidelines in using a facility depends on the type of facility that you wish to enter and the type of certification that you get. So these types of certifications are ang hirap. Type 1, Type 2, Type 3 certifications. So for Type 1 certified children, they are those children who can be left from morning to early afternoon. So they can stay at the nursery school or at the childcare facility for 8 hours. This is what they call the shortened childcare. So for example, they stay at the nursery school or the childcare facility from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then the types 2 and 3 certified children can use the facilities from morning to early evening. So these children can stay or can use the facility for 11 hours. So who qualifies for which type of certification? So for type 1, these are 3 to 5-year-old children, and then one parent is working and then one parent doesn't work, or one parent is in the process of job hunting or looking for employment. Or it can be both parents are working but they have a relative, for example a lolo or a lola, who can help them with the childcare. And then, as I've mentioned earlier, they can stay, for example, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Type 1 certified children usually can go to yochien and kindergarten. And then for Type 2 certified children, these are also 3 to 5-year-old children, and then both parents work. But there's no one to help with the child care. And then the total work hours of parents are 64 hours or more per month. So they can use the childcare facilities as Type 2 certified children. So they can stay from, for example, from 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. or from 8 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. or 7 p.m. And then Type 3. For Type 3, usually these are the 0 to 2-year-old children. So both parents work and then 64 hours a month or more. So they can be classified as Type 3 and they can use the facility the same way as the Type 2 certified children. So what are the documents or the requirements to be submitted when you want to enter a childcare facility in your municipality or in your city? So first up, we have the certificate of employment. So regardless of your status of employment, you have to submit a copy of your certificate of employment. So this form can be downloaded from the official website of your city or municipality. You can also get a copy of it from the childcare facility you wish to enroll your child to, or from the city or the ward office, the Children's Welfare Division of the city or the ward office where you live. So first, you have to fill out your information in the certificate of employment, and then you bring that form to your employer. Then ask your employer or the company you're working with to fill out the rest of the form, and then submit it together with the other documents to the Children's Welfare Division in your respective wards or municipalities or cities. And it is also important to note that if you are self employed or you have your own business, or for in-house employees, for example, you do in-house jobs, there are separate forms or separate certificates of employment. It's called the Employment Status Declaration Form for self-employed, and then for in-house employment, it's called the Employment Status Declaration and Certificate. Another document is the pregnancy and childbirth records. So prior to moving to Japan, make sure that you bring all your child's medical records. So if you have your baby book or the maternity and child handbook, bring them with you, and then request for a maternal and child health handbook upon registration of your child to the ward office in Japan where you live. You may also check my other video on the importance or the benefits of having that maternal and child health handbook. But for this video, you need to submit a copy of that handbook for the facility's reference. Another document that you need to submit, if it is applicable to you, is the medical certificate of a guardian. So for example, one of the child's parents is unable to do childcare at home because of health reasons. You can submit a certificate of health. So if only one parent is working and then the other parent is sick or is ill, you can submit it. You can request for a copy of it and then submit it along with the other documents. But if you don't have it, if it's not applicable to you, it's okay. Just ignore this part. Another possible document that you can submit is the nursing care of relatives. Just like the medical certificate, if you don't have any relative to help you with childcare, there's no need to worry about it. Just fill out the form indicating that you don't have any relatives in Japan to help you care for your child during the times that you are at work. Another form is that if you or your spouse is in the process of a job hunting, which means you cannot do a childcare full time because you're looking for a job. You can also submit a form called Written Pledge and Job Search Activity Report. So if during your application to a childcare, you or your spouse got a job offer, you submit the same form as the certificate of employment. But if not, if you are currently job hunting, you submit the written pledge and job search activity report. And then the ward office will also ask for updates regarding your job search regularly. I don't remember, parang monthly yata or bi-monthly. They'll send you the form, and then you have to send them back until you get a job offer. So why is this important? The type of certification that your child gets also changes once both parents are already working. Aside from that, the childcare fees also change. It increases. Next one is certificate of enrollment. Again, if you or your spouse is enrolled to a school, you cannot care for your child full time. So you also need to submit a certificate of enrollment. So again, I repeat, for all these documents mentioned, the forms are available at the nursery or kindergarten school you wish to enroll your child to. Also at the ward office, the Children's Welfare Division of the ward office, or city or municipality where you live. And then you can also check it on your city or municipality's websites. And then what I'm not sure about is if the city or the ward has English versions of these documents, because parang wala yata sila dito. Only in Japanese. As for the procedure in applying your child to a childcare facility in Japan, it depends on the type of certification that you get. because there's a slight difference in the application procedure for type 1 and then for type 2 and type 3 certifications. For type 1 certification, first, you need to decide which school or you can scout which facility you wish your child to go to. And then the next step is to get the necessary document requirements, the application forms from that school or from that facility, and then fill out your information, send it to the ward office, to the Children's Welfare Division of the ward office or city hall. Wait for a mail from them notifying you on the type of certification that you get. And then if the ward office or the city hall requests for some other documents, for additional documents, you should provide those documents, maybe write or fill out those forms or secure those documents and then send them back, those documents, those forms. And then wait for another notice that will come in your mail and then notifying you of whether it's approved that you can go to the school of your choice or if you have other options. So just like what happened to us before when Shinichi was 3 years old. Yun. We were not given our first choice of the facility that we wish him to enroll to because yun, punuan. So they gave us another facility that's kind of out of our way. Once the school is decided, you visit the school and then you will have the interview, pre-enrollment interview with the principal or with the staff in charge with accepting enrollments, and then they will give you a list of the requirements or the things that your child needs in going to that childcare facility, which I will also be making a video of. So watch out for the things that you need to prepare when you are enrolling your child to a childcare facility in Japan. And then after the interview, I think you're ready. I mean, your child is now ready to go to that school or that facility for their first day of childcare. So that's for type 1. For types 2 and 3, there are less steps that you need to follow in applying. So first, have in mind which school, which facility you wish your child to go to. And then second is you go to that school and then get the necessary forms that you need to fill out and then ask for the other requirements. And then you have options on how to submit your applications. So first, you can send the forms or you can apply by sending mail or snail mail to the Children's Welfare Division of the ward office or city hall, city hall. Or you can just check the website of your city or municipality and then look for how to submit those or how to apply for admission to a childcare facility in your area. And then the fourth one is wait for a notice or a letter from the city hall or from the ward office informing you of the approval or rejection of your application. And then but not really rejections, not really rejection, because most definitely if you're not approved to the first facility of your choice, they can give you another facility. So they can give you an option. And then yes, after you receive the notification, you visit the school again or the facility again, and then ask for the requirements, the things that you need to submit or to prepare, and then your child can start going to that school or to that childcare facility. So those are the steps, the easy steps in applying for enrollment or entering a childcare facility in Japan. As for the fees naman, so yun, we've been mentioning about the types, certification types. So your fees also depend on the certification type of your child. So if both parents are working, expect na medyo merong bracket income bracket. So, medyo full yung payment mo. And then, full yung payment, I mean, like, yung sa school lunch nila. Kasi kumakain din sa school yung mga children, yung mga bata. And then, if only one parent is working, lesser yung babayaran na school lunch. And then, since there is a support from the government to parents in relation to childcare, so most definitely you will not pay anything other than the school lunch. So there's nothing to worry about kasi the government gets you covered with your childcare fees, I mean facility use fee to a certain limit. So meron bracket as to how much they'll be supporting you. And then you'll only have to deal with school lunch. And then ang alam ko merong insurance eh. Ang naalala ko merong insurance na binabayaran. Pero ano lang yun, parang 240 yen. That's the entire year na eh. And then there's a free medical checkup naman every regular medical checkup in all childcare facilities. And you don't have to pay anything for that. So, free naman lahat yon unless may mga like vaccination, that's not part of it. And then, other medical procedures. So, of course, personal expenses nyo na yon. It's not part of the childcare fees that's covered by the government. So yun. So those are the important things that you need to know when you want to enroll your child to a childcare facility in Japan. So that's preschool. Again, childcare facility equals preschool, nursery, kindergarten, from 0 to 5, or as long as they don't enter elementary school yet. So watch out for my other videos related to enrolling your child or entering a preschool facility or a childcare facility in Japan. So that's all. I'll see you again next time.